Welcome to Howard Brown Barber and Beauty Institute. Today we are doing the review for General Anatomy and Physiology. Let's begin. Which of the following is the study of the functions and activities performed by the body's structures? Is it osteology, physiology, anatomy, histology? If you chose B, physiology, you are correct. The study of the human body structures seen with the naked eye and how the body parts are organized is physiology, histology, myology, anatomy. If you chose D, anatomy, you are correct. The study of tiny structures found in living tissues is known as pathology, physiology, histology, myology. If you chose C, histology, you are correct. What is the colorless, jelly-like substance found inside cells in which food elements such as proteins, fats, carbohydrates, mineral salts, and water are present? Centrioles, cytoplasm, plasm, protoplasm. If you chose D, protoplasm, you are correct. What part of the cell plays an important part in cell reproduction and metabolism? Nucleus, cell membrane, protoplasm, cytoplasm. If you chose A, nucleus, you are correct. Mitosis is the usual process of cell reproduction of human tissues that occurs when the cell divides into two identical cells called receptors, centrioles, daughter cells, neurons. If you chose C, daughter cells, you are correct. What part of the cell is needed for growth, reproduction, and self-repair? Protoplasm, cytoplasm, nucleus, cell membrane. If you chose B, cytoplasm, you are correct. What type of tissue carries messages to and from the brain and controls and coordinates all bodily functions? Epithelial, muscle, connective, nerve. If you chose D, nerve, you are correct. An example of connective tissue are mucous membranes, skin, blood, the lining of the heart. If you chose C, blood, you are correct. Body tissues are composed of large amounts of fat, water, minerals, nutrients. If you chose B, water, you are correct. What type of tissue gives smoothness and contour to the body? Nerve, epithelial, muscle, adipose. If you chose D, adipose, you are correct. Nerve tissue is composed of special cells known as microscopic cells, neurons, daughter cells, interstitial cells. If you chose B, neurons, you are correct. Blank are groups of body organs acting together to perform one or more functions. Body connections, body physiology, body systems, body tissues. If you chose C, body systems, you are correct. Structures composed of specialized tissues designed to perform specific functions in plants and animals are called systems, nerves, organs, cells. If you chose C, organs, you are correct. Blank is the study of the anatomy, structure, and function of the bones. Osteology, pathology, histology, myology. If you chose A, osteology, you are correct. Which of the following bones joins all of the bones of the cranium together? Parietal, ethmoid, sphenoid, temporal. If you chose C, sphenoid, you are correct. What bones of the face are also known as malar bones or cheekbones? Lacrimal, zygomatic, mandible, maxillae. If you chose B, zygomatic, you are correct. One of the primary functions of the skeletal system is to serve as attachments for internal organs, protect various external structures, store most of the body's fat supply, help produce white and red blood cells. If you chose D, help produce white and red blood cells, you are correct. What is the largest bone of the arm and extends from the shoulder to the elbow? Humerus, ulna, radius, carpus. If you chose A, humerus, you are correct. What type of muscles are found in the internal organs of the body, such as the stomach and intestines? Voluntary, striated, non-striated, cardiac. If you chose C, non-striated, you are correct. The part of the muscle that moves and is farthest from the skeleton is the origin, fibrous, belly, insertion. If you chose D, insertion, you are correct. What bone framework serves as a protective covering for the heart, lungs, and other delicate internal organs? Cranium, thorax, cervical vertebrae, vertebral column. If you chose B, thorax, you are correct. Muscular tissue may be stimulated by electric current, which may be either high frequency or faradic current, infrared rays, steamers, ultraviolet rays. If you chose A, faradic current, you are correct. The muscle that draws the scalp backward is known as the blank muscle. Epicranial aponeurosis, frontalis, epicranius, occipitalis. If you chose D, occipitalis, you are correct. What muscle is the ring muscle of the eye socket that enables you to close your eyes? Levator, palpebrae superioris, corrugator, orbicularis oculi, procerus. If you chose C, orbicularis oculi, you are correct. The muscle of the mouth that draws the corner of the mouth out and back, as in grinning, is known as the blank muscle. Buccinator, risorius, triangularis, mentalis. If you chose B, risorius, you are correct. The latimus dorsi muscle helps extend the arm away from the body, assists in breathing, pulls the upper lip backward, upward, and down and outward, assists the swinging movements of the arm. If you chose A, helps extend the arm away from the body, you are correct. The tricep is a large muscle that allows the arm to extend outward and to the side of the body, lifts the forearm and flexes the elbow, produces the contour of the front and inner side of the upper arm, covers the entire back of the upper arm, and extends the forearm. If you chose D, covers the entire back of the upper arm and extends the forearm, you are correct. The muscle on the forearm that rotates the radius outward and the palm upward is the pronator, extensor, supinator, flexor. If you chose C, supinator, you are correct. The muscular system covers, shapes, and supports the skeleton, and its function is to help produce both white and red blood cells, produce movement within the body, equalize the body's temperature, carry waste and impurities away from the cells. If you chose B, produce movement within the body, you are correct. An example of an immovable joint is the skull, hip, elbow, knee. If you chose A, skull, you are correct. Painful inflammation involving the carpus, wrist, area can be caused by heat, keeping the wrist straight, prolonged standing, repetitive motions. If you chose D, repetitive motions, you are correct. What body system helps regulate the body's temperature? Circulatory, nervous, integumentary, lymphatic immune. If you chose C, integumentary, you are correct. Blank are secretions such as insulin, adrenaline, and estrogen that stimulate functional activity or other secretions in the body. Hormones, plasma, interstitial fluid, protoplasm. If you chose A, hormones, you are correct. The blank system consists of the heart, arteries, veins, and capillaries that distribute blood throughout the body. Endocrine, circulatory, respiratory, lymphatic immune. If you chose B, circulatory, you are correct. What type of glands release hormonal secretions directly into the bloodstream? Exocrine, hormonal, endocrine, duct. If you chose C, endocrine, you are correct. Which of the following helps carry waste and impurities away from the cells before it is routed back to the circulatory system? Lymph, blood, plasma, interstitial fluid. If you chose A, lymph, you are correct. The spleen is part of what body system? Reproductive, endocrine, circulatory, lymphatic immune. If you chose D, lymphatic immune, you are correct. Cervical nerves originate at the brain, spinal cord, scalp, heart. If you chose B, spinal cord, you are correct. Which of the following carries blood containing waste products back to the heart and lungs for cleaning and to pick up oxygen? Veins, arteries, capillaries, arterioles. If you chose A, veins, you are correct. Blood is approximately what percent water? 40, 50, 80, 25%. If you chose C, 80%, you are correct. In the hand, what draws the fingers together? Adductors, flexors, abductors, extensors. If you chose A, adductors, you are correct. What body system controls and coordinates the functions of all the other systems and makes them work harmoniously and efficiently? Respiratory, endocrine, nervous, circulatory. If you chose C, nervous, you are correct. Which of the following controls consciousness and all mental activities, the functions of the five senses, and voluntary muscle actions? Peripheral nervous system, autonomic nervous system, somatic nervous system, central nervous system. If you chose D, central nervous system, you are correct. Sensory nerves, also known as blank nerves, carry impulses or messages from the sense organs to the brain. Afferent, reflex, efferent, axon. If you chose A, afferent, you are correct. What type of nerve supplies impulses to the upper part of the face? Infratrochlear, maxillary, ophthalmic, mandibular. If you chose B, maxillary, you are correct. What body system passes on the genetic code from one generation to another? Lymphatic immune system, endocrine, reproductive, integumentary. If you chose C, reproductive, you are correct. The body system that affects the growth, development, sexual functions, and health of the entire body is the blank system. Integumentary, lymphatic immune, reproductive, endocrine. If you chose D, endocrine, you are correct. One of the primary functions of the lymphatic immune system is to provide a suitable fluid environment for the cells, regulate the body's temperature, help produce movement within the body, support the skeleton. If you chose A, provide a suitable fluid environment for the cells, you are correct. The brain is the part of the central nervous system contained in the thorax, cranium, spinal column, axon terminal. If you chose B, cranium, you are correct. Sensory nerve endings are called blank and are located close to the surface of the skin. Nodes, capillaries, receptors, accessories. If you chose C, receptors, you are correct. What does the word integument mean? Map, study of, bone, natural covering. If you chose D, natural covering, you are correct. Which of the following is the connection between two or more bones of the skeleton? Nerve, tendon, joint, ligament. If you chose C, joint, you are correct. The blank are the bones of the fingers, consisting of 3 in each finger and 2 in the thumb. Phalanges, parietal bones, metacarpals, temporal bones. If you chose A, phalanges, you are correct. What body system relies upon the skeletal and nervous systems for its activities and proper operation? Circulatory, muscular, reproductive, integumentary. If you chose B, muscular, you are correct. The blank system is closely connected to the cardiovascular system as they both transport streams of fluids. Endocrine, integumentary, lymphatic immune, reproductive. If you chose C, lymphatic immune, you are correct. What artery supplies blood to the skin and muscles of the scalp and back of the head up to the crown? Anterior auricular, posterior auricular, transverse facial, occipital. If you chose D, occipital, you are correct. What color is blood when it is in the veins? Light red, dark red, blue, bright red. If you chose B, dark red, you are correct. What blood vessels bring nutrients to the cells and carry away waste materials? Capillaries, arterioles, arteries, venules. If you chose A, capillaries, you are correct. A normal adult heart beats about how many times per minute? 40 to 60, 60 to 80, 75 to 100, 100 to 110. If you chose B, 60 to 80, you are correct. Which of the following nerves is affected during facials, primarily when you are giving a massage to your client? Trigeminal, trifacial, facial, accessory. If you chose D, accessory, you are correct. What type of nerves carry impulses from the brain to the muscles or glands? Afferent, sensory, motor, receptor. If you chose C, motor, you are correct. What type of muscle is an involuntary muscle that is not duplicated anywhere else in the body? Striated, cardiac, non-striated, striped. If you chose B, cardiac, you are correct. What bone is U-shaped and supports the tongue and its muscles? Malar, cervical vertebrae, mandible, hyoid. If you chose D, hyoid, you are correct. Blank are whitish cords made up of bundles of nerve fibers held together by connective tissue. Dendrites, nerves, glands, axons. If you chose B, nerves, you are correct. This concludes this lesson. Make sure that you like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like more information about our school, please join our community at howardbrownonline.com. Howard Brown, where learning never stops.